Hey guys, hope you're well. I'm just going to give you a rundown on what is actually involved in a blood protocol and report, and what do you actually get, and what does it look like. So here I'll go through it on the first page again. We've got, the person's name at the top there and their goals, what they're looking to do. And we've got markers within and outside the optimal range. So you can see there's a total of 41 markers tested. They had 24 optimal in the middle. You can see they're ranked from very low, below standard, below optimal, and then above optimal, above standard, very high. And you've got that color coding there. So we've got, this person had 17 markers out in total. And you can see we've got that same sort of color coding, and again, very low to very high, and just marked on where each marker is. So you can see their potassium, it was 4 to 4.5 is the optimal range, and then theirs was 4.8, so that's just above optimal. So over time, we want to get more markers in the optimal range. So the next time this person gets their bloods done, you want to have less, markers out than 17 and a more optimal, and obviously feeling better as well. And then you're moving towards a more healthful state and you're making progress. And then under here, we've got just some notes. So the main findings, so based on the bloods and the symptom assessment, because that's important as well, what their symptoms are combined with the bloods will determine, what we think is happening. So we've got small intestinal fungal overgrowth or bacterial overgrowth, maybe some bacteria there as well. Some intestinal permeability, so leaky gut, and low stomach acid. And then here's some other notes on the other markers. So, which ones are sort of mean what. So for example, the low neutrophils and high monocytes, are indicating intestinal permeability, which is leaky gut, and some inflammation. The high MCV, red blood cells, and hemoglobin are showing B9 or low B9 or B12. The low ALP is showing, low zinc, and again, just goes through like that. And here we've got the actual protocol. So here we've got, it's broken down into phases. Now, this is someone with gut issues. Someone without gut issues, the protocol would likely be less supplements. So don't think, holy crap, that's a lot of supplements. People with gut issues or health issues are going to have more supplements than someone who is just trying to feel better or optimize things. So we've got, in the top box there, we've got, these are the supplements you take the whole time, weeks 1 through 12. So they're the base sort of support supplements, N-acetylcysteine, magnesium, etc. And then we've got the 2 gut phases. So the gut phase is broken down into weeks 1 to 4 is gut repair. So we've got 2 supplements there for that. And then we've got phase 2, which is weeks 5 through 12, is the antimicrobial or anti-yeast phase. So these are the supplements to kill the yeast this person has. And there's a couple of others in there as well. So you can see there you've got the Tulchrone zinc or carnosine, and then below that is the antimicrobial. So those supplements there kill the yeast. And then here we've got the links for the supplements. So you can see, the phase 1 or the supplements taken the whole way through. You've got those 4 there. And then phases 1 to 4, you've got those 2 supplements there. And then phase 2, weeks 5 to 12, you've got those supplements there. And you just hit the link and it will take you straight to the supplement and you can buy it. And it tells you how many bottles to buy. So, you need 1 bottle of that, 1 bottle of that, 1 packet of that, et cetera, et cetera. And so you can, get the report, you can just get everything you need and get started straight away. I try and use mostly Australian suppliers or iHerb, so you can get the supplements pretty quick. And then here we've got foods to avoid, foods to limit, and foods to include more of. So this is individualized, so it'll be different person to person. So this person having a yeast problem, for example, is avoiding sugar and high sugar foods, including fruit initially. So, someone who didn't have that would obviously not have that. A lot of people aren't going to have this many foods to avoid completely. You can see there on number 3 in foods to avoid completely, we will start adding low sugar fruit from week 6. So once, we want to sort of add those foods back in over time. And then we've got foods to limit. Again, we've got those FODMAPs or fructooligosaccharides at number 3. Again, this person has bloating and IBS, so we're wanting to limit those foods initially to reduce symptoms and then slowly add them back in from week 6 because we want to keep feeding those good bacteria. And then foods to include more of, so all the good stuff, meats, slow cooked meats, oily fish, bone broth, all that sort of stuff. And again, these will be dependent on the person. So it's, different depending on what the symptoms are and what we're dealing with. Nutritional outline here. So again, this is sort of an overview at the top. So it's going to be lowish carb, higher fat to begin with. Not low carb, it's actually moderate carb. It's 150 grams of carbs, which is not low really, not super low at all. And then we've got the macros under here. So again, this person, we're going to have maintenance macros, 3,000 calories, 200 grams protein, 167 fat, 150 carb. Not everyone has to have macros. Some people don't want to track food, and that's okay if they're not up to that. This person's been tracking food already for a while and they're comfortable with it. So obviously I'm going to include macros for them. If you've never done that before, you don't have to do it. Then we've got the foods broken down in proteins, fats, carbs, and veg. So to give you examples of what fits into each sort of macro there and good examples of each one. And you can see there, for example, under carbs and fruit. So we've got carbs at the top there, we're going to have at the start at the top, and then see under carbs and fruit, then it says at the second lot from week 6, we're going to add in low sugar fruit. Same with the veggies. We've got the low FODMAP fruit at the top, That's going to be initially. And then from week 6, we can start adding in those higher FODMAP vegetables again. Tips to optimize digestion. This is really important. Being calm while we eat, chewing our food properly. Most people don't do this. So if you have gut issues, this is really important. And then we've got an example day. So, all right, let's break that down, those macros and those food groups down. What does a day actually look like? So, they've got in their protein, they're going to eat 4 times a day. They're going to have protein in every meal. There's some examples there. Slow cooked lamb shoulder breakfast, goat whey protein shake, chicken thighs, whatever. And they've got 3 meals with an added fat, the avocado, dark chocolate, olive oil, 2 meals with added carbs, so those last 2 meals. And they've got some veggies added in as well. Again, this is going to be different for each person and, depending on what they're having and not having. Then we've got the training and lifestyle stuff. So here, we've got, and again, this is going to be dependent on what you've done before as well. So this person's already training 3 or 4 days a week. So we're keeping to that and the style of training too. So if you have gut issues, we're not going to be doing high rep sets, for example, stuff like that. So depending on what your bloods are, what your symptoms are, would be depending on the type of training we're doing. So there's a breakdown, obviously reps and sets, rest, tempo, and then we're adding in some cardio for this person, low intensity cardio and some stretching. And then we've got the lifestyle recommendations. So these are really important as well. If you're overstressed or, not getting the recovery and, these things are going to obviously, sleep are going to make a huge difference. So, focusing on 7-8 hours of sleep, going to bed and getting up at the same time each day, dark room, all that sort of stuff, getting enough sunlight, getting enough, 8,000 steps a day. And this is going to be dependent on each person. So if some people are really bad sleep, well, we're going to focus more and have more information on that. If someone's not doing any exercise, well, there's going to be more information related to that. So we're going to focus on, what the person needs and where they're at. And then recovery and stress management at the bottom, things like ice baths, saunas, meditation. Again, this is going to be different for each person. This guy didn't actually need any particular one. I just think they should include more and, do what they enjoy most. So some people are going to like meditation more, focus on that. Some people are going to hate ice baths and never want to do it. So that's okay. They might do more saunas or breath work or whatever. So it's going to be, broken down into individual basis. But yeah, guys, that's a quick rundown. Let me know if you have any questions at all.